And I am Eddie Micah Jr. with the brand new DW News Africa.
The show that tackles the issues shaping the continent.
Now with more time to offer an in-depth look at all the trends that matter to you.
What's making the headlines and what's behind them?
We're on the streets to give you in-depth reports and insights.
DW News Africa.
In Capital News tonight, government urged to allocate National Food Reserve Agency more funds to purchase maize from farmers. Arusha Resident Magistrate Court gets clearance to hear the economic sabotage case against former High District Commissioner Lengai Ole Sabaya. And in sports, Simba Queen has finished fourth in the CECAFA Women's Championships after losing 2-1 to Lady Doves of Uganda. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. Now, the maize crisis caused after the National Food Reserve Agency NFRA in Ruvuma, Rukwa, Katavi and Southern Highland regions has failed to buy the crop from farmers has erupted in Parliament after members of Parliament demanded the government to increase funds from 14 billion to 100 billion shillings to enable NFRA buy maize from farmers.
Kutokana na serikali kutoa fedha kidogo kwa NRFA.
Following minimal funds given to NFRA has resulted in poor purchase of maize from farmers. This has several implications if it will not be dealt with accordingly, including causing farmers to despair in cultivating the crop. People depend on maize for their survival and even take their children to school. Not buying from them, there are a lot of consequences ahead.
Sisi kwa upande wetu wa serikali, bodi ya nafaka na mazao mchanganyiko imeingia mkataba sasa.
As the government, the Board of Mixed Cereals has entered a contract with a company from Mombasa of selling to them 100,000 tons of maize annually. And transportations of the crop has already begun. We also expect to open a cereal center in Juba, South Sudan.
Ya Tanzania nchini Sudani ya Kusini.
Nataka niwahakikishie waheshimiwa wabunge na Watanzania wote, hasa wakulima mazao haya, zao hili la mahindi wa mikoa hii ya nyanda za juu kusini, kwamba kesho tutakapokuwa hapa, kabla tujahitimisha bunge, serikali itatoa taarifa kamili juu ya utaratibu utakaotumika kununua mahindi haya kutoka mikononi mwa wakulima.
The Resident Magistrate Court in Arusha has received clearance to proceed with the economic sabotage case facing the former District Commissioner of High, Lengai Ole Sabaya. Here's more on the report.
Senior State Attorney Tarsila Jervis told the court the Director of Public Prosecution has given the court clearance to proceed with the case as investigations have been completed, and that the economic sabotage law gives the DPP the mandate to decide if the case should be heard in a lower court. Lengai Ole Sabaya and 6 co-accused are facing charges of leading a criminal gang to get 90 million shillings. The case will come up again on 16th of September this year against accused Lengai Ole Sabaya and his co-accused Enoch Nkeni, Watson Mwahomange, John Aweyo, Sylvester Nyegu, Jackson Macha, and Nathan Msuya.
Inspection operation on fuel stations providing services without meeting legal requirements has continued in Dar es Salaam, with the National Environment Management Council NEMC discovering 10 companies that have been operating without following registration procedures. The companies have been fined more than 5 billion shillings for the offense.
We have found that there are currently 393 petrol stations that are not registered with the council and they operate unregistered. There are big companies that we have noticed they have also violated the procedures. The inspection is underway to inspect various fuel stations which do not meet environmental law requirements. Perhaps I would like to give the disadvantage of this fuel station for not conducting an environmental impact assessment. One, they have evaded government taxes because in this assessment each petrol station pays 4 million, and now there are 393 petrol stations which did not take this environmental impact assessment. We are talking about 1.5 billion, which is government money, and this fuel station have not paid.
Kila kituo. So kwa vituo 393 unazungumzia karibu bilioni 1.5 ambayo ni hela ya serikali. Hivi vituo havijaweza kulipa.
The 2-day Standard 7 national examinations are over, with candidates and parents expressing expectations of good results.
Najisikia raha kumaliza darasa 7
I feel so happy to finish my 7th grade. I encourage my colleagues will do well in these exams and will meet in secondary school. I have found the exams to be normal. We can pass. We did pray to our Almighty as well.
Nimeona kawaida na shauri wenzangu wakaendelea kuwasaidia wazazi kazi, tutakutana sekondari.
The exams were normal. My advice to my fellow students to help the parents as they return home after here. We will meet again in secondary next year.
Lakini mimi naambia wenzangu wasome kwa bidii wafanye.
The exams were easy, and I tell my colleagues to revise so that they can pass when they'll sit for their final exams next year.
Now, Vanilla International Limited Company has said vanilla is a crop that can economically empower Tanzanians, even those with small land, especially in NJOMBE and Bukoba areas, by following modern farming methods.
Kufanya hapa tunashirikiana na mteja moja kwa moja na tunamfikia mteja japo mteja ndo
What we do here is reach the customer directly. This is a farm of 40 square meters with 40 vanilla seedlings. There are different farm sizes from 10 to 50 square meters up to 1/4 to 21 hectares according to their budget. If someone cultivates the crop outside Vanilla Village, will face several challenges, including theft and face permanent disabilities, because vanilla is a very expensive crop.
Ulemavu kwa sababu ya kilimo cha vanilla ni cha thamani.
The police force, in collaboration with the immigration force in NJOMBE region, have arrested 38 illegal immigrants who had been hiding in the forest as at Uhambule village, Wanging'ombe district.
Lakini kwa namna wanavyoonekana wametoka nchi ya.
These immigrants come from Ethiopia. Where are they going? We do not know. We are calling on residents to report people or situations which are unusual to government leaders for measures to be taken. Whenever you doubt people, press a report. It does not matter their number.
Ni kweli kwamba hawa tunawahurumia leo, lakini taifa letu likiharibika na sisi tuanza kukimbia hivi, hatupendi watu wetu wapate shida.
Every citizen must know that he or she is entitled to safeguard this country.
Wananchi wote kila mmoja alipo ajue kwamba yeye ni mlinzi wa taifa letu.
Now, Dar es Salaam Region Commissioner Amos Makala has directed all traders selling their wares on sidewalks to have moved from the areas by Monday, September 13th. The directive comes a day after an express bus caused an accident that led to death of 2 people in Lumumba area.
Walioko katika hizi njia walizofunga, alafu tuone katika hii wiki moja tunaamua nini na watu waende wapi.
In 1 week, we shall come with a way forward. That has no discussion. This move is for the safety of people. People should come up with recommendations that bring favorable trading environment. This goes out to traders in the SALAAM region. They should ensure that road reserves are empty.
Meza hizi unaoziona ni biashara ya watu.
These tables are people's businesses. No one is opposing that. How come the government is having a blind eye to what is happening in Kariakoo? If the fire that occurred at the market would have happened in the daytime, the number of deaths could have shocked many.
Nakubali kabisa kwamba namna tunavyofanya shughuli zetu kweli si rafiki kwa watu wengine.
I agree that the environment we do business is not conducive to others. As a leader of Wamachinga in Tanzania, our cry to the government is that we are voiceless when we approach you. Whenever we discuss things, they are not implemented. Honorable Regional Commissioner, I call on you to come up with solutions that will not affect small-scale traders.
Pale, halafu mkija barabarani, Mheshimiwa Mkuu wa Mkoa mnatupa maelekezo.
Residents from Katubuka Ward, Kigoma, Ujiji Municipal who had fled their homes after they were flooded with water from Lake Tanganyika have urged the government to allocate them other areas to live or find a lasting solution to the stagnant water that has engulfed their houses for more than a year.
Tunalalamika kwa sababu gani? Tayari maji yanatusumbua. Tuiangalie serikali inatusaidiaje. Kimtazamo sisi makazi ya watu endelee.
We're already having problems with this water. How is the government going to help us? If possible, they should find solutions of this water so that residences will not be affected. We have no problem with the government.
Hili bwawa huwa lina tamaduni. Ziwa linapokuwa limejaa.
This dam has the tendency of overflowing when the lake has overflowed. And there are times that the dam dries out completely, attracting people to establish their homes. Not only people are selling pieces of this land to each other without consent to the director's office.
Changamoto ya hapa na ya Jangwani sidhani kama ni tofauti sana. Hapa pako
Nature of this land is a valley, but let us sit with experts and find solution to this problem.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next.
Are you ready for some great news? I'm Christine Mundwa.
And I am Eddie Micah Jr. with the brand new DW News Africa.
The show that tackles the issues shaping the continent.
Now with more time to offer an in-depth look at all the trends that matter to you.
What's making the headlines and what's behind them?
We're on the streets to give you in-depth reports and insights.
DW News Africa.
Welcome back, and in international news. Dozens of Palestinians in the occupied West Bank have been wounded in confrontations with Israel soldiers while protesting in solidarity with 6 Palestinian men who managed to escape a high-security Israel prison earlier this week. Here's more on the report.
Relatives of Palestinian prisoners have been arrested as Israel launched a massive manhunt to capture the 6 men who tunneled out of the Gilboa jail on Monday. The Palestinian residents said Israel forces fired tear gas, rubber-coated bullets and live ammunition at crowds who were taking part in relays on Wednesday evening across various cities in the West Bank, wounding at least 100 people.
Provisional results announced by the Interior Minister showed that Morocco's long-ruling party has suffered a crushing defeat to liberal rivals in parliamentary elections. Here's more on the report.
And Development Party, PJD, saw its support fall from 125 seats to just 12, far behind its main liberal opponents, the National Rally of Independent NRI, and the Authenticity and Modernity Party, PAM, and the center-right Istiklal Party. Election officials said NRI Party won at least 97 seats, so far the highest among parties that contested the polls. PAM came the second with 82 seats, followed by PI with 78. Turnout in Wednesday parliament elections were just over 50% higher than in 2016.
In Beni, North Kivu, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, the head of the United Nations Organization Stabilization Mission in the country, MONUSCO, has held a security meeting with military leaders on the deteriorating security situation in the area.
We are here to discuss the emergency and new strategies between us and the Congolese military force in order to improve military operations.
Kwa ile wakamate sasa mipango mpya yenye itakuwa tofauti na washaka zamani ili weze kuleta anduka uhakika ya kwamba mwele maongezi yao na mwele mipango watakamata kutakuwa mabadiliko.
Kwa sababu mamasa alikuwa huku Bindu Keita alisemaka watafuatilia sana mpaka vita.
We hope that these dialogues will help to restore peace in Congo.
Ya amani.
The president of Burundi, Evariste Ndayishimiye, has launched construction of a modern port in Bujumbura with a call to develop partners to support the construction project. The port being built with the support of the Japanese government will increase trade between Burundi, Tanzania, Zambia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Nimefurahia siku hii kuu ya uzinduzi rasmi wa kazi za ujenzi wa kisasa za bandari ya Bujumbura, kwa sababu hii inaashiria hatua ya kuelekea maendeleo ya kijamii na kiuchumi ya nchi yetu. Bandari uzinduzi wa kazi kwenye mradi wa bandari ya Bujumbura bila shaka ni hatua muhimu katika historia ndefu ya
Estonia's President Kristina Kaljulaid is on a 3-day official visit in Kenya, in the first in Africa. Upon her arrival, she was met at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport by Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs Racial Amomo and Defense counterpart Monica Juma before holding talks with host President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Progress that Estonia has made, especially in the digital and technology world, is an area where Kenya is a leader on the continent, and I believe we have a lot that we can share together, learn together, especially in the provision of government services and the provision of health and other such areas, making life easier and more manageable for our people and less costly, and also improving our business environment, making us that much more attractive to each other.
We are also working together in the Security Council, so the cybersecurity issues and these developments of course come to our mind as well. And I've also talked about Tallinn Digital Summit and building this Tallinn consensus on trust-based connectivity, and we've thought both that Kenya could be also on this continent one of the leaders of and maybe the leader to carry forward this kind of consensus building more globally. We are seeing that we are coming together on this thinking with European Union, also US, OECD, and of course we need all supporters. It's a loose network, but I think it will get tighter and tighter in getting results, and this is very important.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows next.
Tune in to Business Edition and meet business leaders and experts who keep you informed on business and economic developments taking place in the country, such as tourism, construction, energy, transport, mining, agriculture, communication, banking, real estate, and more. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m. only on Capital Television.
Welcome back, and in business news tonight. Air Tanzania Company Limited, ATCL, has started a new service that will enable passengers pay for their tickets in installments, which have to be cleared before the travel date.
Kwa sababu unajua utaratibu pia huu wa kuweza kutunza pesa ukiangalia pia.
The system of saving money is conducive in regard to the current situation in the country. The system is favorable to people who travels at the end of the year to visit their families.
Kwamba kila anapopata kidogo analipia.
Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Culture TCCIA has said more needs to be done by the government and private sector to provide correct information to farmers so that they can benefit from opportunities in various markets.
Wataweza kufanya uongozi wao kwa umahiri ili kuweza kuifanya.
If possible, they should lead with excellence so as to take the chamber to higher levels and build our economy, investments and trade.
Pia tuweze kujenga biashara. Watu wetu bado tunahitaji kuwajenga kwenye biashara mahiri waweze kufanya vizuri zaidi.
Hilo ni eneo ambalo ni muhimu sana serikali.
What I would like to say is that whenever amendments are made, they should reach at district level for the purpose of implementation.
Mabadiliko yale yashuke ngazi za mikoa na ngazi za wilaya kwa ajili ya utekelezaji.
And the Registrar of Veterinary Council in the country, Dr. Bedani Masuhuli, has called on Tanzanians to look for opportunities in the red meat market due to its increasing demand, which Tanzania can meet as the country is among countries with large numbers of livestock in Africa.
Tunawahimiza wadau kwamba kwa kweli wachangamkie masoko. Kwa mfano sasa hivi tuna kiwanda cha Tan Choice.
Much emphasis is on stakeholders to take the opportunity. Right now there is Tan Choice factory that used to export almost 350 tons weekly. Right now they are exporting 600 tons of meat weekly. The big thing is to bring stakeholders together to see opportunities available in the value chain of red meat with the aim of increasing investments.
Ili tuweze kuambia wawekezaji ni mahali gani ambapo mnyororo haujakaa vizuri na unahitaji uwekezaji.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose to Len.
Welcome back, and in sports news. Simba Sports Club women's team has finished 4th in the CECAFA Women's Championships after losing 2-1 to Lady Doves of Uganda.
Queens in the semi-finals of the CECAFA Women Cup. The only Tanzania representatives in the competition played Lady Doves today and succumbed to a 2-1 defeat. Asha Jafar pulled 1 goal back in the 88th minute after going 2-0 down, but it was too little too late, and the team returns home with a 4th place finish.
Mtibwa Sugar believe their new signings will help them finish a better position than last year in this Premier League season.
Tumetoka kutrain, najua sasa hivi tuko katika hard training.
We are in intensive training, so this is our second friendly game, and we have started with smaller teams, and we can see something already. We are shaping the team chemistry, we are constructing team unity, and it is going well. I think it is a good thing.
Umoja wa timu anaona inakuja kwa kasi zaidi, nafikiri ni jambo zuri.
Now, Mtibwa, moving on, England have lodged a complaint that Kylie Walker was racially abused by Kamil Glik, according to Poland's Football Association.
The first half of the stormy 1-1 World Cup qualifier in Warsaw yesterday, Poland have hotly denied the allegation. The players of both teams came together after England had defended a free kick just before half-time, with Harry Maguire incandescent after taking exception to something that happened. The England defender had to be held back by teammates. Television footage showed Glich pinching Walker on the neck, and Glich and Maguire were booked. The Poland media officer and team manager Jakub Kwiatkowski was called out of the dressing room at halftime to be told that two English Football Association members of staff, the team manager Emily Webb and the security head Tony Konifro, were talking to the fourth official.
Novak Djokovic will continue his bid to win all 4 Grand Slams in the same year against Olympic champion Alexander Zverev in Friday's US Open semi-final. Here are more details.
World number 1 came from a set down to beat Italy's Matteo Berrettini 5-7, 6-2, 6-2 and 6-3 in the last 8. Zverev, who bet Djokovic in July's Olympic semi-finals, advanced in New York with victory over Lloyd Harris. The first of the US Open men's semi-final will begin on Friday, with the second scheduled to start 4 hours later. World number 4 Zverev, who's 24 years old, bet South African Lloyd 7-6, 8-6, 6-3 and 6-4, and seeks the first Grand Slam title, having finished runner-up at the 2020 US Open.
And Michael Schumacher's wife, Karina, says the 7-time Formula One world champion is different, but he's here as he continues his rehabilitation after a severe brain injury.
In a skiing accident in December 2013 and placed into medically induced coma. He was brought home in September 2014. Speaking in a new Netflix documentary, Karina said he still shows her how strong he is every day. The Schumacher family have kept his medical condition private, as they say those will be his wishes. The documentary will feature close family members, including his son Mick and daughter Gina Maria, as well as current Formula One drivers, including Sebastian Vettel.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimba. Thank you for watching and good night.